Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4 as the Empire of Japan. We've just conquered Iran and that does put us in a very nice position because we have enough fuel now to actually go with most of our Navy and Air Force. So, in between episodes I did go ahead and set up a couple of air training missions due to that reason so that our aircraft are training up a little bit and that should be fine. We've also just pretty much finished our Guadalcanal campaign, so we've now established primacy over most of these islands so far. We're doing a little bit of a mop up, and we're now getting ready to attack New Zealand very soon. And that should actually be very lovely. We're also sinking a lot of enemy convoys, and that's excellent. Long-term goal is still, or mid-term goal is still to attack Hawaii. We are setting up some mine-laying missions over there with our submarines, and we are right now training up or constructing quite a lot of these light cruisers. That should get ready by 4th of October or so, and at that point we'll be probably attacking very strongly on some of the American positions at Midway Island, at Johnston Atoll, and potentially down here in the Line Islands. But before that we do want to take the southern route and we do want to get these light cruisers up and running. Let's make sure to get rid of all of these messages here in the east of Africa, so that's fine. And you know what? I do think what we want to do is set up a war against the Soviet Union. So let's set up justification over there and hope that that's ultimately going to be alright. Also in between episodes I did go ahead and on the construction level over here set up a bit of a construction down here in Fuju, because actually a problem with the supply up here in Manchukuo is that you can see it's previously bottlenecked by infrastructure in Seijan, and that's way down here, so that is really something that we do need to fix up, and that should be ready relatively soon, so it's going to take about a month. And we don't suffer from any attrition right now, so that's okay. So we can leave it as such, I do think. So the reason I want to go for the Soviet Union is because we do now have a front over here, again, where we could advance into Azerbaijan, and that would be great. Apparently the Spanish have managed to beat back the Americans that were just briefly landing over here, but I do see a combat over here, so once again there seem to be some naval landings close to Marseille, and that is interesting because technically the Allies don't actually have any access to that sea anymore. Apparently we've met some American submarines in this area. That's fine, I don't think it's too critical. Do we even have naval bombers over here? We do. They're not particularly experienced, I have to say. So ideally at some point I would like to replace you with one of these guys. Well, slightly more experienced. Are you guys actually training up? You don't seem to be, so that's not quite what I want. I want you to be training. There we go. That's much better. Good. So naval combat, 4 groups. I really would love if they got rid of that interface or modified that interface, because I don't want 4 units to be here. I don't want to know about 4 naval combats. It's really just 1 naval combat with 4 groups in it. So yeah, that's alright. By the way, I do think that potentially we can remove this area from the patrol pattern. And over here... Are all of you actually convoy escorting? Oh, I didn't think so. Yeah, so all of you should be doing that, please. Good. Okay, that was a slight oversight. More convoys being sunk. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Very good. We should also, every now and then, check on our naval guys, specifically this one. I do have very high hopes about you. Right, Japan finished war declaration against the Soviet Union, so we can trigger that at some point. You know what? Let's actually go ahead and trigger these naval invasions. I do hope that they are ready. I think they should be. It's been a couple of days, so hopefully that's was long enough for these guys to prepare. And there we go. We should also see that a lot of the... Have you already left? Oh, and suddenly we know a little bit about the divisions that are sitting over here. And that's interesting. We are currently landing in Christchurch, Wellington, and Auckland, so pretty much all of the main island, main cities. There's Dunedin, of which I've barely ever heard, but alright. Christchurch is one of the largest cities on the South Island, Wellington of course the capital, and Auckland one of the largest cities on the top island. We're also concurrently landing in Tasmania, although I don't expect anyone to be there, so that should be okay, hopefully. Good, a couple of days passing, still low supplies somewhere over here, and you are now actually suffering from attrition. I really dislike that fact. Oh well, should be alright. Good, let's see whether we can start out with some of these combats over here. And there we go, 3 dockyards. That is potentially because we have upgraded everything that we can. All of these destroyers are upgrading or repairing. It's fine, you should potentially repair now. You guys are all fine. Well, I could actually repair the lot of you. That's okay. Everyone here is fine. Yeah, well, these destroyers we don't really want to upgrade. You should potentially repair. These torpedo cruisers we will not upgrade, and that's fine. This torpedo cruiser might need to be repaired. So maybe the repairs are going to help us a little bit. Well, 8. We might want to do a convoy in between, just so that we're not wasting too much. Good. So that does leave the attack over here. Very eager to see how that's going to develop. Yeah, more free dockyards. Okay, that's an issue. So we could start a new build run, but I am mindful that we are right now researching and gonna finish researching in 53 days our new torpedo launchers. And that does mean a little bit that it doesn't really make that much sense to start constructing anything now. Look at that! There is an Australian squadron down here. So what I should actually do is take the Australian squadron is potentially running away from the situation here in Tasmania. That we can fix, but I don't want it to interfere with my naval landings. So what I do think what we need to do is take the heavy scout group, and we should potentially dock you in Sydney Harbour. And you are right now set up to be a strike force around this area, so you should definitely help these guys out very quickly. We do see ourselves being bombed over here, but we have shot down that naval bomber. And we should soon see the attack on Auckland. There we go. So 2 of our divisions are attacking. They by now have more tech than the Maori volunteers do have, so it is very nice. And yet again, we are missing out on production over here. Let's keep on producing convoys for a second here. Again, I don't expect that situation to last too long. I really don't want to produce for nothing, really. Good. We have finished up more light piercing guns, so that's fine. I do think we should really think about items like this on the land warfare tab, especially if we are to go to war against the Soviet Union. Naval doctrine likewise seems something that we do need to do, especially this here, but we pretty much have no naval experience to use that for. I'm also mindful that at some point we'll need new aircraft, but right now it doesn't seem like that is something that we should or could be doing. 75 days for that would be very nice. Over here I do think we are fine and we don't actually need that much. Artillery we have developed. Improved anti-air wouldn't be too bad. I mean, does that actually also apply to modules? Well, honestly, it might. So that would not be a bad upgrade for us at all. But on the other hand, honestly, we do really need some anti-tank and piercing capabilities, especially if we are to go against the war with the Soviet Union. So more attacks are happening down here. You seem to be struggling a little bit against that force. Wellington also is not doing great. You're doing okay, but we are losing out a little bit of organization here, so yeah. Seems like New Zealand is doing actually much better than we anticipated. They're the first stumbling block really for our Marines, who are being beaten back, and that's extremely interesting, isn't it? You guys are coming back towards port. That's good, because if we can make a landing at least in Auckland, and that seems like a viable option over here, we can then send you over here. And you are coming up, I suppose. At least one of you is. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, the other one I would like to get into here as well. Lovely, good. You guys, can you try to race towards Wellington? If we cannot make it on land, then maybe we can do it on water. Sorry, the other way around, of course. Okay, so 2 of our invasions failed, actually. That's pretty bad, of course. Ooh, Americans losing some submarines. I appreciate that, of course. The American submarine attacks have been dying down a little bit, but they still seem to be quite viable. Night assault tactics, that's alright. We can do attritional containment. Does give us a little bit more organization and goes into a little bit better research there, and we definitely do have the army experience to spend on this. Very good. Okay, here we are attacking them nicely, I would say. We are bringing up some of our marines up there. That's okay too. You guys should all get into a harbor position. And you likewise should get down to Normai. You guys are going there anyway, so that's okay. And over here, at least one of you should be trying to defend. Yeah, so we do need more people over there. Right, who can we get into that position? You, go ahead, reinforce. Well, pretty much we probably want all of you there. I do hope that's going to be enough naval capacity, but at strength 6 it should be really fine. And potentially we might even get to Wellington here. All of you guys are moving out. You know what, we'll just tell you to be part of this front, and I think that should be a little bit easier. There we go. Yeah. So you are coming in now, and that is pretty fantastic to see. I'm not sure why you don't actually support us. Why are you not here? You're not supporting any other area, so I'm a little bit curious. Our defenses up here are holding. We really just need to get a couple of reinforcements in and do so quickly. Yeah, now we're being pushed back down there. Yeah, and we really do need the reinforcements so that we can hold this entire line, and this gentleman here doesn't get cut off, which very much, well, he might be soon. So you know what, let's actually walk over here, because that guy does have some organization. That should be okay. Yeah, you know, that's a good way to go. One of you, just one, might, you know what, we'll sign you over here and then ask you to walk over there. And likewise with you, you're gonna get over there. And you're simply gonna be part of this front. There we go. So we are moving into Wellington now, and that might preclude them to actually surrender, if we are very lucky. Some naval battles over here where they are sinking a couple of convoys, or at least damaging them, which of course is a slightly different thing. Good. We do have some unassigned divisions. That's interesting. Do move into Wellington, please, please, please. We also need that just to be making sure that you're not suffering that much attrition. Okay, so now you guys up here seem to be fine. Actually, I have some free military factories now. That's good, because we would probably want more fighter aircraft and naval bombers to be produced. So let's dial that up a notch. And go ahead. Good. Combat unit destruction, so that's an air thing. Air doctrine, yeah, fine. I think these things are not necessarily excluding each other, but battlefield support seems to be the best for us. So let's continue to build that up. Oh, and we will definitely keep our attaches with Germany. Can you go there? I should actually probably find an offensive maneuver line for you. moving down here? Weird. Alright, well, we are pushing them back, so let's actually try to get towards Christchurch. These guys actually should be relatively low on supply. So we might actually be alright there. Construction 4, that's lovely. We don't actually need research extraction now. So I think we're going to be alright over there. We might do one of these. They are pretty good. Production efficiency cap plus 10% is a very good technology. But we are mostly actually interested in our naval stuff, so yeah, I don't think we need that, is the thing. Let's think about naval doctrine and especially escort patrols, because they do get an increase to light cruiser protection, or light cruiser organization. You guys are all fine, aren't you? I mean, we do have a couple of marines over there in the Indian Ocean. They're not the most relevant right now. You're advancing down there, that's okay. You're advancing into there, that's cool. And you're advancing into there. Okay. Let's just try to conquer the entire North Island. We did beat them back, that's good. Yeah, there we go. We are landing more and more troops there, and New Zealand has capitulated. We do get quite a couple of guns, some other stuff. Weapons number 1. No tanks, but we have some improved anti-tank artillery. So that is actually pretty nice. So all of this has been plundered, but at some point we might actually think about editing our divisions over here and let's say remove... Oh, that's a tough call. Which one would we remove? Logistics, we would be fighting against the Soviet Union, so that's not actually extremely great. We might do field hospital and support it with anti-tank. And what would that do? Increase our supply usage. All of this stuff on the left seems to be a little bit irrelevant. Anti-tank would go up, of course. Why would piercing not go up? Nor heart attack. Isn't that somewhat interesting? Do we actually need to research that? I don't think I've ever had a run where I had absolutely no anti-tank artillery. We might have to research that first, just so it triggers some things along these lines. Good, okay, but other than that, we seem to be fine. So we have conquered New Zealand. That does mean the next up are potentially Fiji and the other island of there. So where would we go? I think we'd probably be going from Guadalcanal, so we'd be starting over here, going to Suva, part of the island of Fiji. We'd actually add one of you there. This down here we can delete. We have more marines up here? Apparently we do not. Let's delete this. Let's set up this gentleman to not patrol over here anymore. But actually, well, let's get you to Guadalcanal. And you can engage in Western... No, you know what? Let's actually bring you to Auckland. And at Western Polynesia. Towards your target list. And you guys can then also drop this. And patrol in Western Polynesia and the Solomon Sea. So that should allow us to do things very nicely. Just making sure that we do have some naval units. Who are you? Oh, okay, that's great. You can be part of the naval support group now, and indeed we might actually ask you guys to prepare naval invasions on these low islands down here. So let's actually start from over here towards there. That's one. And we're going to start from over here towards here. That's one. And lastly, we are going to ask to invade from this island into this last one. Each of them 2 divisions, so that should hopefully be okay. We will have to see exactly. That does leave quite a couple of divisions now that are not quite up to or that are above the cap that we do suffer from. So let's pick some that are not exactly very useful. And shall we assign you to the Force Army? But some of you should definitely go to the Forced Army and support that one. And then we can get 2 more into new army really. And this new army is going to go and deploy towards Korea for now. Just because it's 2 divisions and that's not really useful. Good. Right, so that should mean that most of you guys are reassigning your duties. You can go there as well. That does leave 2 divisions. No, you're not actually part of that unit anymore. But you and you, I'm gonna ask you to attack towards Samoa. So let's get from over here towards Samoa. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so that does about settle all of our invasion plans at this very moment. Although Tahiti would certainly be a nice option. It would be a fairly long range. And then again, how much stuff do we think that the French do still have? Potentially not that much. So let's actually start with that invasion as well. And you might as well prepare that island and get over here towards Tahiti. Good. Yeah, so we are getting closer towards target. It is November now. It's been quite a while, but I do want to attack into Pearl Harbor very soon, and we have pretty much all of our ships ready now. So that is fantastic to see. Just a couple of light cruisers being built up. Although they even do belong to different fleets. So that's lovely, and very soon we would also get our modern torpedo launchers. So yeah, at that point we'll probably be restarting a lot of our construction runs, and that should be fairly good. Actually, we haven't seen that many convoys being sunk lately. Yeah, but look at that now. Most of Romania has captured most of this area already. So that does more or less only leave us with this front up there. And actually over here, this second army, which is one of our most experienced armies, must get a very reduced frontage. Can I actually edit that? Because we are limited to these 2 front lines. Yeah, and that means, I think next episode, we are also going to declare against the Soviet Union. I'm really interested to see how that will turn out to be. I'm worried about these tanks. I'm worried about the fact that I don't have sufficient intel. I'm worried about that the Soviets potentially still have a lot of units. So yeah, do let me know whether it's a good idea and whether you look forward to facing off against the Americans over here in Pearl Harbor. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.